How to build muscles in the brain. I share with you the two key ingredients. Learn neuroscience and how mindfulness can help build and maintain those muscles in the brain as long as it's mixed with something else. Hi, I'm Katie, and I help you navigate your emotional world so you can feel empowered by your thoughts and not a victim to them. If I were to ask you how to build a muscle, most people's response would be somewhere along the lines of diet and exercise. While this is not necessarily wrong, it's not exactly how you build a muscle, it's how you maintain a muscle. In order to build a muscle, you have to have some or go through some growing pains or go beyond what you're comfortable with. Think about when you're lifting weights. You have to feel that burning sensation while you're going through those reps over and over continuously. It's through that burning sensation that the muscle actually builds. Now, the brain is no different. It's exactly the same. However, instead of weights, you're lifting attention and focus. With most mindfulness practices, we are instructed to keep our full awareness and attention on, for example, the breath. And whenever our mind wanders, we are to bring our attention back on the breath over and over continuously. This is attention training. Now I'm going to show you what muscles we actually build and strengthen in practicing mindfulness. And here's my example of the brain. The back part of your brain, you have the lovely brain stem connected to the spine, sending messages. This is going to be the oldest part of your brain because this is where it first developed. Another part of the old brain is your amygdala. And your amygdala lights up really big whenever you feel fear. And then it sends a distress signal to the other parts of the brain. And it's about the size of an almond. Now, on the top, you have the right and the left hemisphere, and in between the corpus callosum. In the front part of your brain, we have the prefrontal cortex, or what I like to call the CEO part of your brain, because it is in control of your planning, your problem solving, your impulse control, your rational thinking, and your emotional intelligence. Now, when your amygdala lights up, when you feel stress or fear, normally your prefrontal cortex will shut down, and that's why we tend to sometimes be a little irrational when we feel fear. However, when we practice mindfulness, we actually strengthen, or in scientific terms, we increase the gray matter in our prefrontal cortex, as well as our corpus callosum, which allows the right and the left side of the brain to talk to each other. And we all know that the right and the left do very different things, so we need to be talking very efficiently from one side to the other. Not only that, but it increases the strength in your hippocampus, which is involved in your memory and your learning, and it also shrinks your amygdala. Now, when we're practicing mindfulness, we're focusing. And when we focus, adrenaline actually gets dumped into the bloodstream. This is actually why you'll feel agitated every time you're instructed to bring your breath back, or that you notice that your mind is wandering, because adrenaline is dumped into the bloodstream whenever we focus. Now, physically, you can be agitated, but cognitively, you can actually say to yourself and train yourself, or your brain, that you're cueing the brain up for strengthening. Think of it like doing a bicep curl for the brain every time you bring your awareness back. So in time, you will associate mindfulness with more reward instead of frustration. You may have heard of the word neuroplasticity, which is the brain's ability to rewire itself. We now know that we can build neuroplasticity at any age, at any time, but it does have two components. The first component is, of course, you guessed it, attention training or mindfulness, but the second one is equally important, and it's deep rest. It's not just sleeping, but it's your body actually resting, and I'm not going to go into that, but if you're just doing mindfulness and attention training without deep rest, you're not going to build and maintain those muscles or build that neuroplasticity. So in order to build and maintain those muscles in the brain, you need attention training and deep rest. And just like going to the gym, the more you go, the better the results.